guest today is AVIGDOR KAHALANI, a former career officer in the Israeli Defense Forces and a former politician in Israel Knesset. He's the most famous for his heroic acts in the Yom Kippur War. KAHALANI was born in 1944, pre-state Israel, in a small community of Nes Ziona. In 1962, at the age of 18, KAHALANI was drafted into the Israel Defense Forces, where he would serve as a career soldier for 30 years, achieving the rank of Brigade General and eventually becoming one of Israel's most decorated combat officers. During the Six-Day War in 1967, KAHALANI received the Medal of Distinguished Service for his heroism after being badly wounded, burning 60% of his body while fighting the enemy in his tank. That did not stop KAHALANI from going back to the line of duty and fighting in 1973 Yom Kippur War. It was during that war that KAHALANI's name will be imprinted forever into Israel's history. Commanding a tank battalion in the fiercely contested northern region known as the Golan Heights, KAHALANI rapidly assembled a group of tanks and crews from various armed units to try and repel the Syrians following their surprise assault on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. The vastly superior Syrian forces had already overrun Israel's position in the first days of the war, but KAHALANI's force, outnumbered and outgunned, managed to keep the attackers at bay long enough for Israeli reserve tank and infantry units to push the Syrians back over the borders. The battle proved to be one of a major turning point of the war. After the war, the valley where the battle took place was littered with hundreds of burnt Syrian tanks and was renamed the Valley of Tears. KAHALANI lost both his brother, Emmanuel, and his brother-in-law, Ilan, during that war, and was awarded the Medal of Valor, the country's highest military decoration. When he retired from the army as lieutenant colonel, he served in the Knesset on behalf of the Labor and Third Way, which he founded and chaired, served as a minister of security, served as the chairman of Association of Soldiers, as deputy mayor of Tel Aviv, and the head of the Security Social Division in the Ministry of Defense. As we mentioned before, is the holder of the heroic decoration from the Yom Kippur War, the masterpiece decoration from the Six-Day War, and the President's Medal of Distinction, which is the highest civilian honor for his contribution to the State of Israel. KAHALANI was also the torchbearer in Israel's 75th Independence Day. He has authored the book, The Heights of Courage, a tanks leader war on Golan. AVIGDOR is married to Dalia and has 3 children. Thank you so much for being here. We know how busy you are, especially with what's going on in Israel. So welcome, and thank you for taking some time out of your very busy schedule. We were scheduled to do a different interview about the Yom Kippur War. We had different questions. We unfortunately changed all the questions. So we're going to discuss what's going on in Israel right now.
Welcome,
Mr. Good morning. Good morning for you and good night for you.
Yes.
Welcome, Mr. AVIGDOR KAHALANI, to our show. We really appreciate you joining us for this interview, considering the horrors and inhumane terrorist attack on Israel. We know how busy you are. Before we delve into the current war in Israel, I wanted to ask you a little bit about why you decided to dedicate your life to serving in the IDF. Could you also explain what is it that made you go back to fight in the Yom Kippur War after burning more than half your body in the Six-Day War? Where did you find the courage and the strength to move forward after you lost both your brother and your brother-in-law during the Yom Kippur War?
Oh, you take me back so many times. First, I'm very happy to discuss with you in the morning, and I hope you see what's going on in our country. And of course, we in the war, and we will find a way how to get out from there, and we will win, of course. Now back to your questions. I grew up in Nes Ziona, a small town in Tel Aviv. It's south of Tel Aviv, 20 kilometers. My parents came to Israel in 1925. My father and my mother, they were 1 year old at that time. And they moved to Ness Ziona because of events that we have, what we call Intifada now, and they ran away to Ness Ziona. I grew up in Ness Ziona. I studied in old school, and all my life, I got the feeling that I'm going to represent one day the country, and this is my mission. And when I joined the army, I thought I'm going to. So they want to send me to be a maintenance guy because I studied in old, and I didn't want, and I found myself in the armored corps, in the tank. I didn't have any plan to stay in the army because when I was officer, it was a few weeks, 2 weeks before I finished the service in the army. The army called me and asked me to fly to German. At that time, we didn't have any relationship with German. And I was confused because my father built like a garage in Ness Ziona that I'm going to manage him. And I was confused a little bit, and I've decided to, is a unique mission, and I decided to fly to German. It was a very classified group. And after 2 months, we brought the Patton tanks, the American tanks, and we built a new battalion in the south. And I found myself get married at that time in the top of the tank in the base. And after that, I was company commander. And 67, I was a company commander. Actually, I was the first Israeli tank crossing the border in 67. Something happened to the tank. I jumped to the second one. Something happened to the tank, and I jumped to the third one. And at the end of the day, I was the first Israeli tank running inside to Sinai. All the brigade was behind me, and I found myself on fire, and they sent me to the hospital for a year. Now to your questions, I didn't want to be like a poor man that get the salary from Ministry of Defense, and I ask myself if I have the ability to be again the commander. And I found that it starts from the head. If your head is okay, you can cross over the obstacles. And I've decided to go back. But the problem that I had, my medical degree is it was got almost to 20 that I'm not allowed to serve in the army anymore. And I took the paper and I cleaned it up. I wrote 97, and I had a paratrooper course and whatever, and I moved back to the tanks. This is my decision. The decision is I knew that maybe I have a post-trauma, maybe, I don't know. And I was scared from that. And during the time I found myself okay, even something happened during the war and I found myself in some situation like it was in 67, and I couldn't move, couldn't talk, whatever. About my brother and the brother of my wife, we suffer a lot after 73 war, both of us. For my wife, it was the second brother. She lost the first one in the independent war.
Oh, wow.
And I lost my brother in the Yom Kippur, and I get a feeling that maybe I'm guilty about that because he's younger than me, 6 years. He just finished the service in the army. He got married a day before Rosh Hashanah. That means 10 days before he got killed. And he asked me. The army asked him to be a maintenance mechanic, something for tanks, because he studied for that. And he said, "Not, I'm not going to be a jobnik." I don't know if you know what it means. Jobnik is a man that he serve close to the house.
Maintenance more, yes.
Close to the house, running every day at 4 o'clock at home. And I said, no, I want to be commander. I want to be commander. I support him, and he became a tank commander, and he was killed. My feeling that the world is like a jungle. And a jungle, you have to be strong. You have to be nice, but not to be stupid. And you have to do something to survive. And this is what I've done. And all the time, I bury many of my friends and my soldiers. And I got a feeling that I have to do many things that I have a dream to do it. And I decided that I don't care about my obstacles. I don't have obstacles. I smile in the morning. I check my body in the morning if I can use the shoes and close them, with the srochim. And if I can see...
לא מדברת עברית.
No, you translate it.
I'll translate.
Srochim, I don't know.
Shoelaces.
Shoelaces. If I can get it, it's okay with me. And if I recognize the face, what the man that he shaved his face in the morning, it's okay with my head, whatever. And I'm doing many things. I've done many things. After the time in the army, I've done many things. I was in the Knesset. I wrote 6 books. I wrote maybe more than 20 songs and 1 movie and whatever. This is it's not nervous. It's active.
So it's so funny that it's not funny, but somebody from Israel called me and he said, "You're not sleeping, you're not eating." I said, when you're active, you don't have time to think. So it's a way of dealing with the pain that we have to.
Pain and pressure.
The pain of pressure. Avigdor, I wanted to ask you, the past year, we had a lot of protests in Israel, throughout Israel, which also turned violent. We are seeing division across Israel regarding the protest, and we saw the military, for the first time in history, step foot into politics. You, along with Mordechai Kedar, who is a friend of mine, Zvi Cheskeli, Yitzhak Brick, all predicted this war. You envisioned it. I saw several interviews going back, a couple of years ago even. Do you think that the enemy saw this division with us as an opportunity to strike now, or do you think it was planned by them for the anniversary of the Yom Kippur War?
I think they saw everything what's going on in our country. What we had here, it was, from my feeling, it was a shame. Even they demonstrate to the government. I know I was a politician. I was a minister of public security, interior security, and I was in the Knesset. If you want to change the government, change the government. There's no problem. We change government every few years. But demonstrate is to give the government the feeling, what do you feel? It's okay with me. It's okay. But the time that I heard that people said that we refuse to serve in the army, and we volunteer, now we were, I don't agree with that. A pilot in 35 years old is not a volunteer. He's the pilot, and we spend a lot of time. And when somebody said I refuse, I asked him many questions. I didn't get some side, right wing, left wing. I said what I had to say. And I say, how come that you are not going to serve the army? When I fought for the army, I didn't agree with the government, what happened in Yom Kippur War.
Absolutely.
And I didn't agree with that, but I fought. It's a holy plan for us to protect the country. When I fought, you didn't born yet. I thought that you can be born here in our country. And now when I'm almost 80, you said, no, this is not, I'm not going to fight. And, we have some people that they feel Zionists in their way, but I don't agree with that. I have to tell them straight to their face, you're not allowed to do it. But that's it was. They get support from the press and whatever, and I think I thought in the day that we will go to the war, everybody is going to be participating. This is exactly what happened, and now. But it was some kind of time that I couldn't sleep during the night. I didn't know what how I can support. I told them that I'm going to use my tank, but my problem, my tank is already without engine, and you're going to go to use the tank of my two boys, that both of them, the tank commander in Merkava, one of them is officer. Yeah, it was hard. I don't think that it's going to be a change now, because those people, they want to change the government. Now they say the government guilty about what happened, whatever. The enemy, they can see whatever goes in our country. I don't know if they make the date because of what happened here, or they make the date before that and they were ready for that. I'm not sure for that because they organize everything for a day that they will invade to our country, and they found that maybe it's the good day as the Simchat Torah, and in the morning, and they surprised us. Of course, it's a shame what happened to us. It's a shame, absolutely shame for all of us.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that the officers, first, why didn't the Israeli government, just in general, I'm asking a question, those officers that refused to serve, how come their ranks were not taken from them and their salary?
Absolutely.
It's a very sensitive moment when somebody attack you and you are the government. You should have some kind of decision not to make all of them nervous, and they demonstrate, and with many people together. I think that it was a moment that the chief of staff had to do something, and Minister of Defense should do something. Not the government. The government is, it's you have to find a way between the obstacles. I think that in the future we will do it. This is my feeling. Absolutely. In the future, I didn't know. They didn't study how to fight with that, and they thought maybe let's go with the ideas and what they talk, but it will be okay. Nobody knows. That's the people they work in the historic university. They will find a way 50 years from now. But I think now the result that everybody joined the army.
Victor, I want to shift the focus now on your book for a moment. Etienne and I both read your book, The Heights of Courage, A Tank Leader's War on the Golan. Both Etienne and I read many books about wars in our lifetime, but yours was different. In your book, you made sure you described each soldier, his sense of humor, his character. You showed that even in the face of death, all found moments of humor. Was this your way to make sure those soldiers will be remembered, not by the day of their death, but by the way they lived?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for your questions. I wrote the book when I 29 years old, and I had the feeling that we move in the country and we feel that we lost the war. And I thought, no, we didn't lose. Of course, we won. And I had to describe what happened during the war. I had to find a way, because I'm not a writer. To find a way how to describe for you what happened, that give you the experience from the war. And I found my way, and This book is I wrote 6 books. I don't know to read. This is the reason that I write. But anyway, you didn't smile at this. The joke wasn't good.
I was holding the smile.
No, yeah, okay.
I got it.
All the book behind me. It's,
Yes, that's why I was laughing. That's why I was laughing.
That's what I wrote. This is the book. This is
Wow.
books and I tried to describe what happened during the war, and maybe to give you to sit with me in the tank, and all the information that I knew at that time I gave you, and what I studied after that I didn't give it to you. And I found a way how you can remember the soldiers that I lost, and to tell about them a little bit. It's some kind of conversation and something like that. And everything it was true. I didn't created that. And if you say that you found you study their character from my book, I'm very happy about that. I'm very sensitive to those soldiers that we lost, and I built a big monument in the Golan Heights near the Valley of the Tears. And twice a year we're coming with the parents and all the soldiers of the battalion to it's a Memorial Day. One is close to the Independence Day, and one near Kippur Day. And we have all the names now. And yesterday I thought about the monument that my battalion, 77, lost more soldiers that I lost during the Yom Kippur. They were in the first line when the war started in the Gaza Strip. And we have more than 20 soldiers was killed. And 4 soldiers, we don't know where they are. And it's maybe I'm more familiar with what happened with the families after the war, and how they lost their kids and what they want, of course, from us. Like I used to be the commander, and this is it's one way to remember them.
And it's a great way to keep their memory alive.
Yes, we can't bring them back to the earth, but we can support the family to remember them and to memorize them. Yeah, this is what I have to do.
Nachon.
תודה. ידעת עברית.
קצת.
לא.
Avigdor, I'm going to go into a question that I had to write because I wanted to remember every part of this question. Israel wanted peace. We always want peace. Actually, we went way behind logic to try to achieve peace, even in kind of a euphoric state of mind, refusing to see the reality shining in front of our eyes. Really, we agreed to call the liberated area of Judea and Samaria disputed. Then we agreed to call the Arabs Palestinian, a name they formed to destroy the state of Israel. Many don't know that, but really, it's a name that they formed, in my opinion, to destroy Israel. And thus, we gave those Arabs the seal of approval to destroy us, in my opinion. Again, Israel signed the disastrous Oslo with the terrorists who they expelled from Lebanon at the high cost of Israeli life. And they called the murdered victims back then, and we allowed it. The victim of peace process. They called the liberated areas and still call them the West Bank, refusing to call them Judea and Samaria. And then they did another euphoric move and destroyed Gush Katif without thinking about what will happen tomorrow. And then again, another euphoria took place. Ehud Barak and Ehud Olmert were ready to give the territory as if they do not legally, under international law, belongs to Israel. They repeatedly accepted rockets to rain on us from Gaza, while Israel plunged into a pretense mode that all will just be fine. Now, Saudi Arabia, which Israel was chasing for a peace treaty, our people are being slaughtered, babies are beheaded, and Saudi Arabia freezes everything. What is it? And of course, we're not going to discuss the obvious about Iran. What is it about us as people that we almost give an excuse for having the right to exist? Why? No other country in the world would do that. You know, we had Mifta, we have Mifta Oferet Yetzucha. And then we have Mitzah Mudandan, and then we have Tzukatan, and then we have Shomer Chom. I mean, we tried, and we got to a point where we gave them almost everything they want. We all know that the Hamas, really, they're not going to stop with Israel. That's not their focus. Israel is not their focus. Why do we do that? You can explain to me more than I can explain to myself, probably.
I think that you can explain to yourself better than me, but I will talk to you from my gray hair. You don't have. From my gray hair, I can tell you my experience. The world is a jungle. And the jungle, if you are nice, they eat you.
Absolutely.
If you are gentle, you eat you. And they can sell you for 1 barrel of oil. And of course, we pray, Oseh Shalom B'Mrumav, and we pray that we want peace. And we try many ways to achieve peace. But one of the problems that we came from, most of us, from Europe, and we speak Yiddish with the enemy. Arabic is not just a language. Arabic is mentality. And some people don't know that. When he says something, he don't mean that he's going to do it. He's a liar. And this, sometimes we believe them. I was in the Knesset at that time that we vote for Oslo Agreement. And the second time, I didn't want to participate in it, and I left the party, the Labour Party, because I didn't agree with the solution that we are going in the way. I don't think, from my experience, this is my point of view, I don't think that we achieve peace treaty between them and us. No. It's one system to get something from our country, maybe a land, maybe another rights, and no more than that. They hate us, and we should know that.
Right.
They want us to move to maybe United States, and even that they will kill us. They have a dream to push us to the Mediterranean Sea, because this is the way that they can move to Tel Aviv or something like that. And we should know that. We have some people naive in our country, and they said, let's give them more and more and more. I agree with your question. I hear the voice that, look, I was the first division in Lebanon War, and I arrived to Beirut, and we decided to move back. I was the first Israeli tank crossing the border with Gaza Strip, and I agreed to go back with that. Now the question was another question that I vote against, is to move from Jordan River. Jordan River, for me, it's more strong that we need to be there than the Golan Heights, because 25 minutes to drive from Jericho to Jerusalem, no more than that. And we can find that the Iran army come to support Jordan someday, and we'll find them close to our border, and we should stay there forever. Now we try to give hope to the people but some people naive, and they try, and you can see something very, from my point of view. In '92, I was a Knesset member in the Labor.
Right.
We had 44 Knesset members. 44 Knesset members. I agree at that time with a program of the Labor Party. And after that, they moved to the left. And what happened now? In the pool, they don't have even one Knesset member now. What it means that our country moved to the right. And if you want to be a prime minister, if you want to join the cabinet, you have to move to the right, because right is right. Tartei mashma, what we said, right is right in the thing. I have to move to the right, and this is the way to protect our country. I think if you can see from the sky now the situation in Israel, is going to be a revolution here after this war. It's absolutely after what happened after the Yom Kippur. Revolution is from two kind of position. One revolution because we get the feeling that we get a feeling that something happened. The agreement between the nation and the government, that they didn't protect us. This is the one revolution should be, because this is the first time that the people feel that nobody protect me, nobody keep my house. Another revolution that more people, they move to the right, and they try not to be naive anymore. So you will find some people against the government even now, but not the majority. And I think this is going to be a revolution, and we will be more realized that we are not.
But right
going
now,
to solve the problem.
there's a sense of unity right now from both sides.
Right.
It's a show.
Right.
Everybody go to the
We
tanks.
actually had some people that came to the streets.
No. After the war, it's gonna be a disaster here, from my point of view. It's gonna.
Absolutely.
I don't know what is the result will be that, but and it's gonna be a revolution. But if we see Israel in the situation now, is a study from the God. When I talk about Yom Kippur War, I think I said something, it's a healthy war. And how come you can say a healthy war? Yeah, because if the war started in 74, 75, I'm not sure that we've been here. Because we move. We have a saying in Hebrew, Vaishman Yeshurun Vaivat, which means that you became fat and you don't know what's going on around you, and you spoil, and you don't care about your life because you think everything you got milk and honey we don't have to pay for that. And something will happen in the future, and more people will participate on those ideas to protect our country. And we are naive. Maybe we are naive. But from my experience, I think that we are not going to achieve any piece of paper that will give us assurance that we are going to live here without wars.
I know. I just look, nothing happened. We didn't lose a war. Just people butchered us and slaughtered us, and the people that we have peace treaty with or working on a peace treaty automatically freeze it, automatically going against us.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you another question. Where do we go from now? This cannot be like the solutions we had before. We cannot just go into Gaza and bomb it, and then the United States tell us to have ceasefire, because if we have even one Hamas member there, we lost this war. Even if we have one. Do you think Israel this time will finish this problem? Because this is something we have never seen before. We've seen wars. This we've never seen. I don't think the world has ever seen since the Holocaust.
If I listen to what the Prime Minister said and what the Minister of Defense said, they said we are going to destroy the Hamas. But it's very complicated in my point of view. First, the American, they are here. They came they came to support, but they came to try to find some kind of solution, and they maybe not, or we will not invade to Gaza Strip like we want, something like that. I'm not sure that I know what is going to be the result of this war, but I think the solution in the future, because we cannot move 2 million people to Egypt. It was a dream, my dream. But Egypt, they stopped them with the
My
machine
dream
gun.
too. My dream too.
Yeah. And there, it's not going to be like that. And I think the only solution in the future, I'm not going to, if you are going tomorrow morning, if there's but today to invade to Gaza Strip, I believe we will do it. But I think in the future, we will find some kind of solution that maybe few countries will be involved of the solution, and they will take and they build some kind of government in Gaza Strip. And this government will give us the feeling like it's happened in Berlin after the Second World War, that they control what's going on. They cannot build army, whatever the solution. I think this is the only result that our country will agree with that. This is my feeling. But nobody knows now what is the result, because the American too much involved here. Even the secretary of the country, he was with the government yesterday.
Secretary of Defense. Yeah.
And maybe Biden is going to come here. This here in the news. I'm not sure.
Well, we had senators visit, U.S. senators, a delegation of U.S. senators just went to visit.
Yeah.
You know what's heartwarming, Avigdor? We're currently working on getting doctors to Israel. And I approached so many doctors. And I thought that half would say yes, half would say no. Some are Jewish, some are not Jewish. There was not one doctor that I called that said no to us. So we're hoping by next week we're going to have the first delegation of, I think, of 37 doctors coming to Israel.
Oh, I'm very happy.
Well,
you know, when I'm very happy for that. When I was in hospital, it was a few doctors from the United States and few from South Africa, and they take care of me. At that time, we didn't have enough doctors, the plastic doctors at that time. And they, I remember them very well. If some doctor will come to our country, we will salute to them. I think we need doctors to support. We have many people injured. And if they want to go to the to Gan Eden, to the heaven, they will come here to support us.
God willing.
So the last thing, I want to keep you here for one more second. I feel I'm a very courageous person. I'm very pro-Israel. I fight for Israel, both Karen and I. This is the first time in my life that, as courageous as I feel, I don't know where to go next. I really don't. I try really hard. I wake up every morning and I try to do things. But that hole in my heart does not come out. How did you do this? You did it so many.
I understand you. You know, when when I was minister and it was a bomb in Tel Aviv and I was far away in Jerusalem, I didn't feel well because I'm so far from the bomb, you know, and you want to be in. If you come here now and stay in Tel Aviv or whatever you want, you feel better. Why? Because you feel that you part from the country, not so far, and you have to see the news and you cannot support. With the idea that you are here, you feel better. This is the way all over the world. And if you want to be healthy, take airplane and come here and stay with us.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
And stay with us and you feel healthy.
Then I'll drive you crazy, Avigdor.
No, you feel at home. You know, it's from far away, it feels you are not safety. You know, I ran to the shelter a few times. I don't care about it. I really don't care about it. This night, I'm going to see my battalion near the border. I participated in a few funerals. I visit many families, but you are here. You can feel that you do whatever you want.
Right.
From your position, you have to watch TV all the day and make you crazy.
Yes.
Don't watch TV all the day because you are going to be crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. We're getting there.
No, I know it's because you are far away, and this is the feeling. Usually,
Yes.
I had a plane to fly to United States 10 days from now, and I cancel everything. Said, I don't know if the war will stop. I said, I'm not going to take a risk. I've never been out of my country if somebody fighting here, never. And I consulted people, no, you have to come to support us, blah, 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 blah. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to be in Independence Day, Memorial Day, and war out of the country. I can't.
No, they need you.
I just want to tell you, when we told everybody that you are coming with the delegation with LME, people were begging me, Etty, just get us in any of the events. We just want to see him. We just want to shake his hand.
He's a hero. A hero.
So no, I'm going to talk to Yoram to postpone it because we want you here, and God willing, this war will end.
I will come.
Yes, but right now it's not. I agree with you. I'm coming to you guys.
No, I will come. Yesterday, I talked with Elami and I told them this is my decision. If you think that it's going to quit the war this morning, it will be okay. But the war is take a few weeks, in my point of view.
Yeah.
And if I will come to your house to give you some kind of morality, it's make me crazy to go back because my morality will be down.
Right.
You agree with me?
Yeah.
I agree.
How is the morale right now of the soldiers?
Oh, very high.
Thank God.
Very high, very high.
Thank
Wow,
God.
they are dancing and they give them the feeling. I talk to them in many systems. I'm going to visit them, and the morale is very high. I told them to take some picture for to happen from the kibbutzim, what is the result over there,
Right.
and they understand the mission. They are going to fight. They are ready for that, and I'm very happy and I'm very proud because this is the generation that came after my son, not me, and they understand this is their turn to hold the flag of the country in their hands. You know, King Solomon said, Eti, now you're going to translate it. Dor holech vedor ba.
Generation goes and generation comes.
Ba'aretz leolam omedet.
And the country, the land, will always stay still.
which
Amazing.
means that we protect the country from generation to generation. This is the way. This is the
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
And if
Love it.
you I feel that the new generation, they have the responsibility for the country. This is my feeling,
Yes.
and I'm very proud of them.
Mr. Kalani, Am Israel Chai. Mr. Kalani, Etty and I.
Avigdor.
Thank you, Avigdor. Thank you. Avigdor, Etty.
Mrs. Cohen, this is what you want to do there?
No. Karen.
No, Karen, you prefer that.
Thank you. Avigdor, Etty and I can't thank you enough for joining us today. Our hearts are full of sadness, anger, rage, watching the images of these savage, inhumane terrorists beheading our children, raping and burning alive our women, and slaughtering our men. The world needs to understand that this has nothing to do with the Israeli conflict. Mossab Hassan Yosef, son of Hamas, who condemns Hamas, ran away and converted to Christianity. He said in a CNN interview, quote, "Israel is not the final destination of Hamas. Hamas's final destination is building Islamic Khalifa, Islamic statehood on top of the destruction of civilization," end of quote. Mr. Kalani Avigdor, no words can express enough how much we look up to you and your leadership over the years. You truly lead our country by example. You are a hero. It's my honor to have met you. We would like to end this by saying to our soldiers and civilians that although we are in the US, our hearts and our souls are with you. We are praying for your safety. We will win this war because while they have no God, we have Hashem. Also, we would like to thank all of our followers for listening to this episode. Please remember you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Yentas in the City. You can also write to us at dearyentas@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you and answer your letters and our weekly advice column. We would like to thank our team for all the behind the scenes work of this episode and our sponsors, which are Soft Smart Systems International and Conquest Realty Investments. 100% of the proceeds of this show tonight will be donated to the Israeli soldiers in honor of all the heroes who were murdered to save our homeland. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and there's a lot more coming from Yentas in the City. Until next time, this is Karen Cohen and Etty Elkis, and we are Yentas in the City. Thank you, be safe, and remember to be the Ruth in the room.
Thank you, Avigdor.
Thank you, Avigdor. A pleasure.
You talk like a prime minister now.
Thank you.